18 months, to be honest, starting from our Egyptian and Qatari colleagues, we as Turkey also try to do our best really to contribute to have a ceasefire. Finally, after big destruction and loss of lives, the Israeli genocide unfortunately went on. Now finally we have a ceasefire. Finally we have a glimpse of hope for the future. But all the indicators, unfortunately, suggest that Mr. Netanyahu has no intention to continue with the ceasefire.
Let's go now to Professor Mahjoob Zweiri, who joins us now live from Doha. He's a professor of contemporary Middle Eastern politics at Qatar University. Dr. Zweiri, it's one thing suspecting a party to a ceasefire might not intend that to be permanent. It's quite another thing when a world leader comes out and just says, look, Israel doesn't intend this to be a permanent halt in fighting. How significant were the Turkish Foreign Minister's comments about this?
That's very, very important statement to basically, it's a wake-up call to the leaders, especially the United States and European leaders, and also in addition to that, the region and the leaders in the region to wake up and try to put some efforts to prevent Netanyahu of going back to the war. This is a Netanyahu plan to release our hostages and going back to the war to achieve what he call it the victory, which is basically destroying Hamas politically and also militarily. It was obvious from the day one when he started this war. He was trying to play games from time to time, but now it seems that he wants to capitalize on the presence of the President Donald Trump, assuming that with the military support Israel has already received and will receive around $6.8 billion of support from the United States, that he has basically a green light to do whatever he wants to do. As we know, there is already 2 weeks delay of the second phase negotiation because of Netanyahu, because he was playing games and for different reasons. He doesn't send the right people with a lot of mandate to negotiate. And now he's playing another game. He's trying to open the channel with Egyptian, trying to also play on with the mediators, trying to say, you know, this is important than the other. So that is a very, it's an important wake-up call to everyone to go back under pressure Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad you mentioned these part 2 discussions for the ceasefire. They are, of course, intended to cover the complete Israeli withdrawal from Gaza. I suppose, is there any point in continuing with these conversations if it turns out that Israel actually intends to continue fighting once it's got all its hostages back? Where does it leave these talks?
You know, Charlotte, the second phase is scary to Netanyahu. The second phase is the political phase, where basically things about complete withdrawal from Philadelphia and between Egypt and Gaza. Basically opening for more support to get into Gaza for mobile homes and it's more a political phase, and he is scared of getting engaged in this because Israel has to pay the price of what they have done in Gaza, and that basically pushing him back not to engage on that phase and try to stretch the phase 1 as much as he can to get as much as he can of the hostages. And I think the mediators has already announced and informed the Americans that it will not be the case. Hamas will not continue doing this. And even now, with his pressure not to allow more support, more humanitarian thing to get to Gaza, he's assuming that this will push Hamas to give more concessions. Personally, I believe Hamas will delay the 7th I would say, group of hostages to be released. And I expect this to be announced to tomorrow or today because they wanted all of mobile homes and the tents and the health and medicals to get into Gaza. And I think that is their only tool to pressure Netanyahu. And Netanyahu assumes that if Hamas said no, he will bring Trump on board and scare Hamas. This will not be the case. I think people should wait and see what will happen in the next 2 days.
As you say, Professor Zweiri, there is so much at stake. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour. We really appreciate your insight today.